Hello, welcome to another video live from Northern Finland in Kittilä. We are currently camping in the Borova Forest for a week, and it is currently snowing outside, so I'm in the tent doing this recording. Basically what I want to do is do a quick kind of talk through of some of the kit that I've brought along with me. Today we're starting with the sleeping bag, and a lot of the kit that I've got has either been recommended by the guys who have done this multiple times, who have come with, or speaking to other people who I know are very knowledgeable, very experienced in these type of conditions. Speaking of which, the sleeping bag is just that. There's a guy who I bought it off, who it's his job to take groups out who the first time, and it's the bag that he was using. He's used it down to -40 and he's still been comfortable. So to me that is more useful to me than just reading some reviews that are on the website. So the sleeping bag is the Raymer's Canada J -40 synthetic bag. It's produced by Nanak of Norway, very reputable company, and yeah, I'd heard lots of good things about it, but again, I always want, if I'm using it and almost my life depends on it, because of how cold it's going to be, I want some good reviews from people who I actually know have used them to those conditions, not just from what a website says, even if it is Raymer's. So how have I got on with it? We came on Sunday, so our first night was Sunday night, and it is now Thursday. So I've had a few nights sleeping in it, and temperatures have been they started around -10, they worked their way down to -20, -25, -28, and the lowest we got to was -33, and that was not last night, the night before. So decent temperatures to do some proper kit testing in. And I have to say, this bag has been fantastic. I have been completely warm in those conditions. There are some buts, and I'll come on to the buts later on. But yeah, as just a first glance, the central zip, a lot easier to get in and out of. No area of me has had any cold spots. A lot of that as well is down to the mat, which I'll do a separate, well, no, I won't do a separate video on because I can talk about it quickly here. But it's the X-Bed. It's the X-Bed down mat. I think it's the X-Bed 7, which I think is how deep it is, maybe 7 inches, 7 centimeters, not too sure. But it's the X-Bed 7M down mat, and that has been fantastic as well. I want to give a big shout out, props to the mat, because I've had cold spots before with other mats, not in these temperatures, but just in UK temperatures. I've had cold spots with other mats. The Climate Static V that some people rave on about because it's got space for your bag to loft in between. Nope, cold spots. This one I've had no problems with at all, UK and in -33. So the mat has been fantastic. I would absolutely recommend that. Like I said, down to -33, no cold spots, no nothing, very comfortable to sleep on. Back to the sleeping bag though, it has the central zip, it has a neck insulating as well, just underneath the hood. It has a couple of Velcro points up there to stop the zip slipping down when you're moving around in the bag or turning over. The hood and neck cinched down really tight, so you can just have your nose and mouth sticking out. Yeah, and it's synthetic as well, so there is going to be some moisture build up. It's natural, your body produces moisture while you're sleeping, while you're warm. It's going to expel that moisture into the bag. Once it reaches a certain point in your bag, near the outside, it is going to freeze, because we're not sleeping with the stoves on. They're just there for cooking and kind of emergency, just getting warm throughout the day, but it's not for sleeping in. We are cold camping, and yeah, that moisture is going to build up, it's going to freeze. But because it's synthetic, it's not going to have too much of an effect on the insulation properties compared to down sleeping bags. So as of that, I have had some ice build up. I have had some ice on the outside so that I can brush off. I have had some ice crystals forming inside in the insulation, which I have had to use the stove to kind of melt and evaporate out. But saying that, when I've used it the next night, and if there's still a bit of that in there, it hasn't been a problem. I've still been warm. So it's an unavoidable feature. You can avoid it in some ways by making sure you're not wearing any wet gear, but your body is, if you're going to be warm when you're sleeping, your body's going to perspire. Even if it's only a little bit, there is going to be some moisture in there, and it will want to escape. So the fact that it deals with that is a massive benefit. Some of the other guys who are not using synthetic bags, who are using down bags, have another synthetic bag to go over that one so that the moisture goes into the synthetic bag and doesn't affect the down. So if you are going to use down, be aware of ice build up if you're not taking another synthetic bag with you. So I would choose this over taking 2 sleeping bags and using up more of that space. Now, when I've looked online, one of the big questions, there's not much online about these bags, which was why I wanted to go off what actual people were saying instead of trying to find things online, because there wasn't that much about them, which surprises me because they are a fantastic bag. One of the biggest competitors that this bag has, that people were saying, oh, should I go for this one? And a lot of people were saying, well, go for the Wiggies bags. Now, my temp partner, who isn't there, that's just his sleeping bag, he has got a Wiggies bag, and it's a similar type bag as in that it's synthetic, and it has done the job fantastic well for the other Matt. I'm Matt, he's Matt as well, so the other Matt. But when it's packed up, it is a massive bag. It is absolutely incredibly big. I'll try and get a picture of them together, or try and get it on video when we pack them up. But there's 2 bags next to each other. When they're packed up, there's a massive difference. They both are keeping us warm. They're both doing the jobs. His has still got a bit of ice build up as well, just the same as mine. So in that way, they are very, very similar. One of the major differences is the size and I guess the weight. So if you want something that's going to pack down smaller than a Wiggies, but actually do the same job, I'm not knocking the Wiggies at all. They are a fantastic bag. But as far as packing them for going to the Arctic, where you're going to need some other things, I personally would prefer to pack down a smaller sleeping bag. It's not the smallest by any chance, there are a lot of smaller ones, but as far as Arctic -40 keeping you warm bags, and not having to take 2 bags, because I know down sleeping bags can go down quite small, but you have to take then another synthetic sleeping bag. Yeah, this one gets a big thumbs up. So anything else? It's got pockets inside, so I've been able to keep my phone in there to keep it warm so that the battery doesn't drain. Same for power packs. It's got the hood, it's got the central zipper. I think I've mentioned everything about it, but yeah, it's been absolutely top. I'm very pleased. I'll be telling the guy who recommended it to me how well it's done and how much I appreciate his honest kind of evaluation of it, because you need it out here. You need people to be honest when they're selling you stuff, and not just tell you what you want to hear. So believe me, used it -33 and it has been fantastic. As far as who could fit in it, so I'm 6 foot, quite broad in the shoulders, quite a big guy. At the minute around 16-17 stone, 6 foot, and it's been fine. It's not been too tight on the shoulders. There's no spots where it's been too tight where the insulation's not been working. It has been a great bag, so I would recommend it. But yeah, if you have any questions about the bag at all, I'd be happy to answer them. If you want to know anything more about using the bag or using the mat, or even if you want to find out more about the Wiggies bag, it's absolutely fine. Like I said, I'd recommend that one as well, because it's worked for Matt as well. So I'm not saying go for this one over anything else. I'm just saying this one did the job. It worked down to -33. Unfortunately, we didn't get any colder to see how it was down to -40, because that's what it's rated for, but -33, it was good. The only negative thing, is the neck insulation. Sorry. When I turned over to my side, it created a gap. I couldn't find a way, and I still can't find a way to actually cinch the neck bit up. You can cinch the hood up, but you can't cinch the neck bit up, and there was a lot of gaps. So even though the bag kept me warm, if I was to turn over, I would feel a draft coming down, so I'd have to kind of use my hands to tuck it in. So an easy way to fix that was I used my down mounted equipment jacket and just stuffed it around the neck, and it's just to create that barrier. It wasn't for warmth, it wasn't for anything else, it was just to stop that wind coming down. So that just solved that. I mean, there may be something that I'm missing, but there aren't any cinching cords on it. When I was laying on my back, it was absolutely fine. So it might be because I'm trying to lie on my side and that's creating that gap. Maybe there's a bit more space there. So yeah, that is my only downside. Okay, and it's not a big downside, because if you're lying on your back, or if you're happy to just stuff a down jacket in there, then it's absolutely fine. So yeah, I don't want you to think, oh, that's a reason not to buy it, because I've had it for so many nights out here and it's worked perfectly. So like I said, any questions at all about any of the mats, sleeping bags or conditions out here, then just leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next video.